Hi everyone, so today we're going to look at rearranging formula. So it's often quite tricky. My students find it quite difficult, so I thought I'd go over how I do it and how I sort of do my sort of method. It also helps you with other subjects like your sciences and things like that. Lots of rearranging needed for those formula in the science paper, the physics paper. So it's a crossover one, so it's a good one. Right, so we've got this question, dx minus t equals 8. It says to make x the subject. We don't have to solve it, we don't have to find any values, we just have to rearrange it to make x equals something, something, something. So it's got to be done properly. And we're going to remember our inverse operations for this. So our inverse operations are, if something's added, we're going to take it away, and if something's times, we're going to divide it. We always have to do it on both sides of the equals just to make it balance. So let's have a look at this. At the minute we've got d times x, take t, equals to 8. So we're going to strip everything away from x just to leave it there on its own. Okay, so let's start with the t. So we're going to add a t to both sides of the equal sign. That's going to give us dx equals to 8 add t. That's our next line. And I always line up my equal signs one underneath the other. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to divide. So I'm going to put what I'm doing to both sides in brackets. We're going to divide by d on both sides. So equals lined up again. dx divided by d just gives me x. And then 8 plus t divided by d looks like this. 8 plus t over d. Okay, so that's that. Right, I'm running out of space, so I'm just going to make it a bit bigger. Okay, so the next one is make x the subject for this one. So we are going to start to get everything away from x, including that square. So I didn't write here, this the opposite of the square is the square root. Okay, so moving everything around, let's have a look. So we've got our equal sign there. I'm going to write it over here. So we've got s equals x squared minus 3. So let's add a 3 to both sides first. Okay. And the thing is, you can do whatever you want to an equation, whatever you want. You could add a million here if you wanted to. As long as you do it to both sides, it's fine. Right, it wouldn't help you to add a million though, that's the thing. Right, minus 3 plus 3 cancels out, so it's not there anymore. And now we've got it on this side, so we're going to get rid of that square. Remember, we do the opposite. So we're going to square root both sides. So if we square root the x squared, we just get x, which is what we wanted. But we've got to square root everything on this side, which is s plus 3. So that's our final answer. And you can write it like that and leave it like that, or you could flip it to this way round. It doesn't matter. It's still good. Lots of people prefer the subject on the left, so that's fine too. Okay, right, next one. X divided by 6 minus 5 equals W. So W is the subject. At the minute we want X to be the subject, so let's add 5 to both sides. So that's W plus 5 now. That's cancelled, so it's X over 6. And then we're going to times by 6, aren't we? So it's going to be X equals 6 times by everything, so we need a bracket just to make sure we times by everything. Now we could expand the bracket, but really it doesn't ask us to expand any brackets, so we'll just leave it like that. We don't want to do more work than we want to do, or than we need to do. Right, okay, so this one, x the subject, so let's start with this, moving this. Okay, so this at the minute is extra to x, and I don't want it there, so I'm going to take it away from both sides. V minus a just leaves me with x squared now, and then obviously the square root will help me here. So v minus a, all that's under the square root, make sure the square root goes all the way over. V, and then we've just got x equals now. I'm trying to squeeze it all into this little space, sorry. Okay, now here we've got a couple of things to do, so I'm going to move over to here. So we've got w plus x over u equals 3z. Right, so let's start by getting rid of a fraction. If you've ever got a fraction, just like this 6 was a fraction up here, but if we always we usually deal with that first, but let's deal with the fraction. So we're going to times everything by u. We don't want fractions if we can help it. So that's going to be 3zu, because all that's times. We're leaving us with w plus x on this side, and then we've only got one more thing to do, which is to take away the w now. So we've got x equals 3zu, which is one term, take the w, and that would be the finished answer. Okay, now I found this one as well, which is good because it's useful in real life, actually. So just get rid of that because it's sort of in the way now. So if we look at the Fahrenheit to degrees, or degrees to Fahrenheit equation, this is it. So converting these two temperature measurements, Fahrenheit is here for F, and C is Celsius. So the question wants us to convert from degree C, which is currently the subject, to degrees Fahrenheit. Right, so 5/9 times, in a bracket, Fahrenheit's take away 32. 32. That gives us Celsius. So let's start breaking this down. In order to move this fraction over, we've got a couple of options. We could times by 9, divide by 5, or we could just divide by 5/9. Okay, and when we divide by 5/9, effectively we times by 9/5. Yeah, so that's our fractions, divided by fractions rule, keep, flip, change rule. So we're going to, I just say divide by the 5/9, and by doing that we times by 9/5. Okay, and if you're not sure what I'm talking about there, look at my multiplying and dividing fractions video, because it explains what I'm talking about there. Okay, so we're going to times both sides by that, which means we've got C times by 9/5. So we could say 9C over 5. In fact, that's good. Let's do that. 9C over 5. That's on this side now. And we're just left with what was in the brackets. So we don't need the brackets anymore. There's nothing multiplying. And now we've got to get rid of the minus 32. Well, that's easy. So F equals 9C over 5 plus 32. And that's how you work out Fahrenheit if you have degrees Celsius. Okay?